Alright, back in the continuation where we left off. Alright, so this is back in UN 2030 agenda, which, I always bring this out in, numerous videos, and let's continue to read on. So 16, it says, peace, justice, strong institutions, right? It says promote peaceful societies and inclusive institutions for sustainable development, right? Which is pretty much the 17 SDGs, right? Which is sustainable development goals, right? But this agenda is going to they push it for 2030, but in through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, I believe it's going to be before that, because as we can see, everything that's taking place, everything that's going on, what they're trying to set up their technocratical world, right? Henceforth, bringing in everything that they're doing, their robotics, their AI, their Palantir, their Gideon, their censorship of speech, and so on and so forth, biometrics identification, all right, and so on and so forth, right? It says only those with the RFID microchip, which is the radio frequency identification, right? Which is what henceforth under these data centers, right? Ran off of ionizing radiation, 5G, 6G towers, right? They like to try to say it's non-ionizing radiation. No, it's harmful radiation, man. All right, it's not. It's ionizing radiation. It's not non-ionizing radiation. These things are going to be ran off of ionizing radiation. All right, radio frequencies. All right, so on and so forth, man. Henceforth, why you think it's going to be connected to that chip, which is the mark of the beast, by the way. All right, Revelation, the 13th chapter. We're going to hop all into that, man. Let's continue to read that. It says, only those with the RFID chip and a digital ID, right? Passport with a biometrics, which we always break down the word biometrics, metrics meaning the length, bio meaning the body. So the length and the study of the full body, right? Data on a blockchain that can be a part of a peaceful society. Social credits will be used to get the population to obey the D.E.W, which is the New World Order, and to punish unwanted behavior. Right, there you go. Henceforth, when I spoke about last time, right, is that they have these camps. They got camps set up. They got concentration camps set up all over the place, man. All right, red list, blue list, yellow list, right? Henceforth, anybody who speaks up against their society, speaks up against their government, right? You see? Who are those that are on the red list, right? Blue list are those who will follow the red listers, right? Who are coming up against this society, coming up against this government, coming up against their technocratical world, right? Their Palantir, Gideon, pre-crime, all right? Which shows you in the movie Minority Report, many different other movies of that nature, all right? So on and so forth, all right? It says, where we at? It says, data on a blockchain can be a part of a peaceful society. Social credits will be used to get the population to obey the New World Order and punish unwanted behavior. Those who do not comply will be imprisoned, right? Or have all benefits on the blockchain turned off. There you go. Hence why you see Moab, right, over in Moab's land, over in Moab area, right? China, right? Why they got their henceforth, there was the setup, all right, or how can I say, the prototype of what this thing is all about, right? So it says 17, partnership for the goals, right? It says strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize global partnership for sustainability in order to implement all 17 SDGs and maintain global partnership for the goals. A number of key technologies needed to be further pushed on society, such as the CBDC, central bank digital currencies, right? Blockchain technology, right, which stores all your information into a blockchain, right? Everything, CRISPR gene editing, right? What is that all about? Those vaccinations, so on and so forth, killing off the population, depopulation control. Henceforth, going back to what the Georgia Guidestones, keep the population under 500 million people, right? CRISPR gene editing, vaccinations, so on and so forth, right? AI monitoring, Palantir, Gideon, all right? Sensors, right? AI, artificial intelligence, biometrics, metrics meaning the length, bio meaning the study, facial recognition. When you go in, they scanning and reading your body, keeping an eye on you at all times, reading you, all right? Cameras, 5G, right, which is nothing but 5G, 6G ain't nothing but what you call ionizing radiation, gamma rays and things under those towers. All right, got a video on that. I'll show you, brothers. All right, it says smart cities, right? Smart cities, where they want you to be put into a 15-minute smart city. All right, you can only got the 15-minute modeling. That's why they henceforth, when they did the Ovid 19, right? OV19, right? Where they say you got to be 15 feet apart. Henceforth, the key word, 15 feet. Henceforth, what this means, 15-minute cities, smart cities, everything connected, Internet of Things, IOB, right? Henceforth, ran with a chip, RFID microchip, right? Turn off your central bank digital currencies, all right? Explicate you from society, so on and so forth, all right? It says smart cities, RFID chips, Internet of Things, right? And you also have the Internet of Everything, and then you have the Internet of Banking, right? It says robotics, henceforth humanoid robots and everything else created, right? See, as they're doing, all right? And I think I got something on that later on, Lord willing, through the Spirit, bring it out. It says to fully control the world. See, to fully control the world. Now, let's go into some scriptures. All right, let me get the book here. Let's get Job 9:24. Right, it says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Right, and that word "hand" there means yad, which means power. Right, it says so. Let's read it. It says the earth is given into the power of the wicked. See that? It says, and he covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, wherein who is he? And we know who he is. Esau, Edom. Henceforth, what? The tiny tops. Amalek. Right? The super elite. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Oppenheimers, the DuPonts, the Gettys. Going back all the way into the Bourgeois. All right? You see? And so on and so forth. Those judges that they covered up was Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai, right? The angels, and us. 5 words in Proverbs, right? Because we are judges of the earth. We are gods as well. And we're going to be, as soon as Esau's kingdom go down, right? And Yahweh Shai come back with the angels, right? And this man's kingdom is obliterated, eviscerated, disintegrated, fried, died, laid to the side. Then we're going to be rulers of the earth, all right? Okay? The first fruits. You see? Then all Israel shall be saved, according to Romans the 11th chapter, the 26th verse. You see? Because they're going to come back through the men of the Lord. That's how this thing is going to play out. All right? And they're going to play out any other way. Time of Jacob's trouble, right? Uproars of the people, things of that nature. All these things are happening. They're going on. Okay? And it's through the hands of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right? Let's continue on. Let me get Psalms 83. And who is these things really being orchestrated by your enemies? Right? Psalms 83. Psalms 83. Let's start here at the top. It says, a song or a psalm of Asaph. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace. O be not still, O Yahweh. It says, for lo, thy enemies make a tumult. Right? A tumult is an uproar. Right? Let's go into it. A tumult, right, is to murmur, growl, a roar, a cry aloud, a mourn, a rage, sound, to make noise, a tumult. to be clamorous, to be disquieted, right? To growl, right? To roar. See? To be boisterous. Okay? And that's what they doing. They're being boisterous, right? When they set up their summit meetings, right? A summit means a high peak or a mountain, the highest peak, meaning they go and meet in New York. They go and meet and have these summit meetings up in New York, right? A lot of people be thinking that it be up in Washington, D.C., but really a lot of these summit meetings be up in New York City, all right? And in many different other areas that they have it, but New York City being the number one stomping ground, all right? So let's go here. Let's go back up out of here. It says, for lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. Right, they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They became proud. Who hate this? You about to read about it. All right? It says, and they have lifted up their head. When you lift up your head, you become proud. All right? It says, and they have taken crafty counsel. Crafty means sly, slick, real behind back doors, quiet about it. All right? Nobody knows about it. You're real crafty. Real things you're doing are real sly, real slithery. Council is a meeting against thy people, right? And consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, right? Take away the name. All right? Take away what beat our heritage out of us. And that's what they did when they brought us over here. Right? Starting with our brothers who were already over here in this land. They beat they beat who we were out of us, man. Right? Reprogram. Okay? As you can so to speak, which meaning a form of what? I forgot how I had it. Years ago I had brought this out, and it was 4 ways of how to take down a nation. All right. I brought it out. I gotta find it again. If I find it, I'll bring it out, brothers. But it says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. And they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. But they have consulted, right? For they have consulted together with one consent, right? See? It says, and they are confederate against thee, right? And when you're confederate, you mean you made a pact, right? We made a pact, they came together, they made an agreement. This is what we're going to do to take these people down. This is how we're going to do it to these people. We're going to take them out in this way, that way. Y'all set it up over there. Y'all set it up over there. This is how we're going to confound. This is how we're going to surround these people and take them down, right? This is how we're going to suppress them and bring them down to naught, right? Beat them down, obliterate them, destroy them as much as possible, all right? It says the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites. See, the tabernacle of Edom being the top, right? Okay. It says in the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Havareans, Gabal and Ammon, right? It says in Amalek, can't forget about them. Can't forget about good old Amalek. All right. The tiny top. It says the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. It says Ashur also is joined with them, and they have hoping, right? The children of Lot, Salah, which means pause, right? See, so these are the enemy. These are your enemies, right? Who have made a tumult against you, right? Who have been confederate against you. See? And they want to bring in what? Starting with Esau, Edom, who are the rulers, who are the starting with the super elites, right? Who run this society, run this world, who's have the riches and the fatness of things in their hands. All right, want to bring in a technocratical world. Amalek, the tiny tops, want to bring in a technocratical world, right? Hooked up to an interface, AI, so on and so forth, right? Track and control, trace, all right? Censor of freedom of speech, right? You see? Okay? And have everything under their surveillance, right? Now, let's go here. Let's go to Psalms, the 10th chapter. Let's go to Psalms, the 10th chapter. And this is what they want, like I just read about. Like I was just speaking about. Psalms, the 10th chapter and the 3rd verse. It says, "For the wicked boasts of his heart's desire." How they boast of their heart's desire? They do it through the dummy tube. They do it through their news media, their propaganda, their manipulation. Right? The left wing, right wing, Democrats and Republicans, we say all of one bird, high up Freemason, 30th degree, left hand side. Right? Okay? Many different other steps and forms and ways up into this thing. All right, pulling up their witchcraft, witchcraft spells. All right, on their television. Okay, psyopsis, so on and so forth. All right. It says, "For the wicked boasts of his heart's desire, and blessed the covenants whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked through his pride of his countenance will not seek after Yahweh." And that's right. This devil ain't going to seek after Yahweh. He's an adversary. He's an adversary. Okay? He's Satan. Satan. All right? He's against the Most High. And the Most High is against him. The Most High have righteous anger against him. What is that? Malachi 1 and 4. All right? You see? It says, and Yahweh is not in all of his thoughts. It says, his ways are always grievous, and thy judgments are above out of his sight. As for his enemies, he puffeth at them. He have said in his heart, I shall not be moved. Right, he have said in his mind, I shall not be moved, because he a proud devil. This devil don't think he ever going to go down. But guess what? When Yahweh and the angels come back, right, with second in command, leading to Yahweh the angel Michael, right, they're going to get busy. And your kingdom gonna be destroyed. Your kingdom gonna be taken out. All right. And then the super elites who think that they're gonna try to go hide themselves when the first fruits come back down onto the earth, right after coming down from the chariots, right? Them spiritual powers is gonna kick in, right? The spiritual powers of brand new bodies that brothers gonna have, Lord willing, be a part of that number, that elect. But hey, they're going to come grab your asses up. Psalms 149 going to take place. Okay? With you being the first fruits of vassalship. Vassals. Alright? All you nations, all you other nations, Moabites, you Ammonites, all of you nations I read about in Psalms 8, you all will be vassals. All right. Okay. It says his ways are always grievous, and thy judgments are far out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them, right? Because he's a proud devil. He have said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. Right? He don't think he gonna be in adversity. Right? See? His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud, right? Full of cursing, deceit, and fraud. As you can see, television. You see, this is his mouthpiece, his news, his medias, his many different other things, his legislation, so on and so forth. It's how this man speaks lies and deceit and fraud. And under his tongue is mischief and vanity, right? Mischief, trouble, things in nature. You know what I mean? Vanity, which is of naught. It says, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, right? And secretly, right? He's secretly sitting in the lurking places of the villages, right? And it's high up watching. That's like somebody high up watching over you. Like, oh, yeah, they don't even know we watching them, but we about to get at them, right? It says, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places do we murder the innocent, right? In the secret places do we murder the innocent. Meaning that you see, his eyes are privately set against the poor. Okay? It says he lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den, right? He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. When a lion crouches down, he's getting ready to attack his prey. Yeah. It says he lieth in wait to catch the poor, right? He lieth in wait to catch the poor. And how he do that? Through his pushing off his witchcraft, his spells, right? Okay? You see? Pushing off his puppets, his forerunner puppets. Okay? To push off his agenda. Okay? His gatekeepers. Alright? You see? It says he lieth in wait to catch the poor, and he doeth catch the poor when he draweth them into his net. Right? A net is what you call a trick bag. Alright? Trickery. A net. You got a real slick slide tongue, a serpent. Because this man is a serpent. Okay? And his mouth catch you up. Right? He's real fast, slick talking, sly, crafty. See? He said he croucheth and humble himself that the poor may fall by his strong ones. See, that the poor may fall by his strong ones, man. All right? Okay? Let me get Micah 2:1. This is Micah 2:1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity. Woe to them that devise iniquity. And that's right. The devil is always devising iniquity. When he go, a device meaning a plan or a plot. So when this man go to sleep, he's always thinking about the next morning of what wickedness and what madness he can bring upon the people, man. All right? Let me see this here. Let me see this here. Stroke. Let me get this here. Where we at? Right here. It says Isaiah 14:6. It says, he that smote the people with wrath, with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted and none hindereth. Now let's go back to Micah 2:1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence. Right? How they take them by violence? They go in, they set up a sting operation. All right? And they set up a puppet leader, right, to take and forward their agenda. You see? It says, and they covered fields and take them by violence, and houses, and they take them away, so they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. And that's what's coming now. As you can see, what we speaking about, they're going to oppress this thing. They're bringing in suppression, right, henceforth, with their censorship and their speech of the YouTube and many different other platforms. Right? And it's going to escalate up as we go into 2026. This thing is about to escalate. All right? A lot of hell is about to come. A lot of hell, Yahweh Shem Yahshua is about to bring a lot of hell come 2026, man. A lot of things are about to insinuate come 2026. All right? So you understand what I'm telling you. Okay? All right? Let me get 2 Thessalonians, right? Because 2 Thessalonians, this man is being revealed, and right, he's trying to suppress his revealing, so he's trying to shut it up. He's trying to stop all these things, but the Most High is revealing him. Yahweh Shem Yahshua is revealing him. Through who? The men of the Lord, through the prophets. That's how he's being revealed, right? You see? And everything, he turns around. He can't get away from everything that's being revealed, so he's trying to shut it down. Right? 2 Thessalonians 2:3, it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for the day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed. The son of perdition, right? The son of destruction. That's Esau, Edom, the tiny tops, Amalek. Right? It says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God, right? So that's how they come. See, the frogs, right? The Vatican, speaking and coming and destroying, right? The real truth, right? When we coming with 100% truth, right? So they have took that and spread that throughout the four corners of the earth with that false philosophies and all the lies. Just, what is it? Distorting the truth of the Bible, right? And hiding themselves and hiding themselves amongst the nations, not revealing that they are the Edomites when we know that they are the Edomites, right? Pursuing to the Bible. Okay, it's back in verse number 5. It says, "Remember ye not that when I was with you, I told you these things," right? Because see, the nations are never done away with, right? Spirits are never done away with. Okay, we're energy, right? Henceforth, what is it? Radio Henceforth body got what? Radio frequency, energy. Okay? See, radio waves, energy, and frequencies, and things of that nature. But anyway, it says, remember ye not that when I was with you, I told you these things. It says, and now you know that what withholding, that he might be revealed in his time. And right, and he's being revealed in his time, right? Renaissance, they came back, the rebirth, right? Came back here, set up what? They set up this here society here. Let me get this here. Then we're going to go back to that. Micah 1. That's Salakia. Malachi 1 and 4. Salakia. Malachi 1 and 4 says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, right? They shall build, but I will throw down, right? And their kingdom is going to be thrown down. Right? The kingdom is definitely going to be thrown down. And they did come back and rebuild. Right? The desolate places. Right here, over here, they came, raped, robbed, steal, pillaged, and took over our brothers who are already over here in this land. Right? The northern tribes. Okay? Cristobal Colon. Right? And all these other things they came with. Right? See? Came with Hebrew interpreters on their things. Right? And then they decided to bring Jake over. Right? From the west coast of Africa, many different other places of that nature, running from Roman persecution, coming over there. See that? Right? These are all things that are not brought up, but guess what? It's all being brought out into the forefront. These are things that this man wants to suppress. Information that we're bringing out. All right? It says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. And we know who the border of wickedness is, Esau, Edom. And the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. Who the Lord have indignation forever? Esau, Edom. Right? He said, for Esau have I hated. Right? See? All right, so let's go back to that 2 Thessalonians. 2 Thessalonians. Where was we at? Oh, we're right here. Right here, verse 7. It says, for the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out the way. That's right. And Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is letting this man fulfill the prophecies. Why? Because this right here has to happen. Alright? Numbers, the 24th chapter has to happen. Because this hasn't happened yet, and it will happen. Alright? Numbers 24 and 17. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not die. And there shall come a star out of Jacob. That's Yahushua. And a scepter, right, shall rise out of Israel and shall smite the corners of Moab and destroy the children of Sheath. And Edom shall be a possession.